Not just strangled another girl. Hold it right there. Oh, get some help. An ambulance, too. She might still be alive. Who? The girl in the next building. I make it to be the 12th floor. McLeod! That's your apartment?
Don't tell me you've got a complaint about the noise. This place is soundproof.
I'm afraid it's a little more serious than that. One of your guests is hurt. I saw her on the balcony.
Well, that's impossible.
I saw her from the other building. I'd like to take a closer look, if you don't mind.
Right through there.
Got a key?
Well, it's usually in the other side of the door.
You won't have to break it down if you don't have a key.
Isn't there any other way?
Not unless you can pick locks. Everybody stay out of the bedroom. I don't want anything disturbed. Everyone in the living room, please. The girl on the balcony is dead. You know her name?
Exactly who are you? And what authority do you have to question us?
Deputy Marshal Sam McLeod. I'm on temporary duty with New York Police Department. Now that everybody knows who I am, I'd kind of like to get even. Look, miss, if he knows your name better than you do, we're going to be here all night because that's the easiest question I'm going to ask.
Diane Fredericks.
Diane Fredericks. Do you see anybody go in or out of that bedroom?
Ha.
I'll record that as a yes. Who?
I wasn't taking tickets.
You don't have to tell me your name, Mr. King. I'd recognize you with or without your glasses.
Swell.
Sure do admire the way you sing.
Thank you. Listen, I'll do 14 choruses of anything you want if you just forget you saw me here.
Well, I couldn't very well forget a big TV star, could I? Even if I wanted to.
Thank you.
Joyce Janesco.
Joyce Janesco. Miss. If you're looking for the powder room, I don't think you're going to find it out there.
I can explain.
About her?
Well, it's all a mistake.
It is?
Well, if we could just have a few minutes alone, I know I could make you understand.
Why don't we start with your name?
Melissa Thompson. Look, that's not really important.
Chief?
Marshal? Chief Clifford. Senator, sorry we have to meet under these circumstances. Will you excuse us, please? Oh, sure. All right, where's the body?
What are you doing here, Chief?
Broadhurst had the presence of mind to call me when he realized whose apartment this was.
Well, whose apartment is it?
Arthur Ferris. Senator Arthur Ferris. So whatever you have better be good.
Well, Chief, is it?
What in the hell is this, McLeod?
Well, Chief, there was a dead girl right here not 5 minutes ago.
And where is she now?
Well, I tell you, I'm just as confused as you are.
Confused. McLeod, of all the words going through my mind at this moment, not one of them comes even close to confused. Now, are you sure she was dead?
Well, I didn't perform an autopsy, if that's what you mean.
Must be the lab boys.
See if you can head him off. Anyone else see this galloping ghost of yours?
Well, I tried to keep him out of here, Chief. Thought there might be a clue here. Didn't want anything disturbed.
McLeod, I'm going to try and talk my way out of this. Failing that, you can rest assured I will be leading the lynch mob that strings you up.
Chief, I saw a body on a balcony.
My office, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Sharp!
The 7th Avenue IRT reports a disabled train on the southbound track between 125th and 110th Streets. Subway commuters should try the 8th Avenue line for the next hour or so. Negotiations are deadlocked between the mayor's office and the Sanitation Workers Union. A strike has been announced beginning at midnight tonight. The Pollution Control Bureau is anticipating a record ozone level late this afternoon. Schools have been alerted to cancel outdoor exercise sessions. An electric company spokesman tells us that last night's blackout in Queens was due to a faulty relay in Buffalo. The condition has now been remedied. No blackouts are anticipated in the immediate future, though brownouts are a possibility if the weather continues to heat up. Traffic is backed up on the southbound lanes of the Major Deegan Expressway due to an accident involving 4 cars and a trailer truck. Highway Patrol advises alternate routes for city-bound commuters, as it will be about 2 hours before traffic can be expected to flow normally.
Come in. Oh, good morning, Marshal. Have a seat. Care for some coffee?
No. Chief, about last night.
Just a slight misunderstanding, Marshal. No more than a raindrop in the ocean or a grain of sand in the desert. You know, Senator Ferris isn't a bad sort. once he stopped shouting. Yes, we had a long, meaningful talk after you left.
About what?
Well, your desperate desire to get back to Taos, to get back to your own kind, to roam free among the rattlesnakes and coyotes.
Well, Chief, that situation...
McLeod, don't thank me. Senator Ferris is personally processing your papers, and he assured me it would only be 2-3 days, a week at most.
Well, that should give me enough time
Enough time to what?
to find that girl's body.
McLeod, there was no girl's body. Stay! We checked every apartment on that floor, and all we came up with were 3 potential lawsuits for invasion of privacy.
What about the morgue?
Negative.
Missing persons reports for the past 48 hours.
Anything?
The best we could do is a 45-year-old Brooklyn housewife. She didn't show up for her weekly bingo game.
Well, Chief, I'll keep you posted on my progress.
Oh, no, McLeod. No, I have something else in store for you.
What's that?
Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that I'll hide you behind some desk or in a weed patch on Staten Island till this blows over, right? On the contrary. Your next assignment will be one of the most important in the whole department. You, Marshal Sam McLeod, will be personally responsible for the safety of thousands of lives.
All right, come on, kiddies, let's go. Let's go. Wouldn't want any of you little cats to get run over. Here we go!
Real good at that, ain't he?
Born leader.
What's all right?
Well, he's not going anywhere.
Never hurts to make sure.
Let's go, kiddies!
445 Park Avenue.
Right, lady. Obliged.
Headaches have returned.
everyone we know in there? Melissa Thompson.
Yes.
Sam McLeod.
Oh, yes, I remember. The constable.
The marshal.
Oh, was there something we didn't cover last night?
Only what you were going to tell me when we were interrupted.
Oh, well, that's not important anymore.
Well, if you don't, I might think you had something to hide.
Well, I do have something to hide. However, it has absolutely nothing to do, Marshal, with your hallucination.
Well, out of sight, out of mind doesn't quite hold in this particular case, Miss Thompson. Just because that body disappeared doesn't mean I'm going to stop looking for it.
Well, what I had to say to you last night, Marshal, couldn't possibly help you. Believe me, it was quite personal.
Well, I'm going to find out sooner or later. You know, it might save us both a lot of trouble if it was sooner.
Well, I was at that party with Doug King.
Lucky fella.
Sneaky, too. He's married.
Are you always that nervous when you're out with a married man?
Well, I have a certain reputation to maintain.
As what?
As an interior decorator. You see, most of my clients are old money. That means they cling to the old morality. Would you like some coffee?
No, thanks.
The slightest whiff of scandal and some of the best stores in New York would be slammed in my face.
And that's what you were going to tell me when we were interrupted?
Well, I know it's not a very attractive secret, Marshal. But please help me keep it.
Well, as long as it doesn't affect my case.
Oh, thank you.
Long Island Railroad, South Shore commuter train for Valley Stream, Rockville Center, Freeport, Merrick, Wantagh, Massapequa, Lindenhurst, Islip, Sayville, Patchogue, Eastport, the Hamptons, and Montauk. Now loading on track number 4. South Shore passengers to Valley Stream, Rockville Center, Freeport, Merrick, Wantagh, Massapequa, Lindenhurst, Islip, Sayville, Patchogue, Eastport, the Hamptons, and Montauk. All aboard on track number 4.
Can't do it, McLeod.
Oh, come on, Sarge. Just one little old make. Her name's Melissa Thompson.
You're supposed to be on traffic control. The chief would kill me if he found out I was compiling a private dossier.
No. This isn't private, Sarge. This is official police business.
So is that door you broke down. Destruction of private property in the performance of duty. Let's see. It's a 640B.
I'm on something big here, Sarge, really.
Well, she'll have to wait, McLeod. Duty first, in Tripoli.
Hey, Joe. Joe, you're just a fella I want to see.
Can't talk to you now, McLeod. I'm working on a homicide. Some nut strangled a girl over on 3rd Avenue.
And Frederick.
McLeod.
Wait a minute. This girl was at the party the other night.
If you're talking about the party, I think you're talking about I don't want to talk about it.
Joe, 2 killings in 2 days has got to be more than a coincidence, believe me.
Where are you going with my report?
Well, I'm going to tell Chief Clifford that we feel that there's a connection between Diane Frederick's killing and the girl that I saw on the balcony.
McLeod, I'm not saying that my being assigned to show you big city police techniques has held back my lieutenant shield. But if I crack this case, I know I'll get it.
Joe, there's nobody that's more deserving than you are. Nobody. That's why I'm going to do everything in my power to see that you get it.
You going back to Taos?
Just as soon as we can get to the bottom of this double killing, you betcha. Now, the first thing that I need, Joe, is a make on Melissa Thompson.
Why?
Well, she seemed to be telling the truth, right? You know that she was the only one at that party that was so scared that she gave me anything more than just name, rank, and serial number. And while you're at it, I think you ought to check out the rest of the guests.
That's a full day's work for 2 men.
The lieutenant ought to be able to do it in half a day. Really.
Oh, is that why you're so happy to see Daddy come back from a trip, huh? Because it brings you presents?
I like presents.
I'll bet you do. All right, everybody down, eyes closed and hands up. That's something this time for Carol. And something for Billy.
Thanks, Pop.
You're welcome, Brain. Now, why don't you kids take that up to your room, huh?
How was St. Louis, honey?
Oh, it was wet. They had a terrible rainstorm. 6 inches of it. All of it dropped right on me. It's not tough enough selling industrial supplies. I gotta take chances with getting pneumonia, I think.
Well, sit down and relax, and dinner'll be ready in 15 minutes.
Thank you, dear. Were there any telephone calls?
Yes, you had several. They're on your desk.
Thanks. I'll get to them later, all right?
First up on the 6 o'clock news, a film report of a brutal murder. This was how it looked shortly after our news team arrived at the scene. An alley in the middle of the 3000 block of 2nd Avenue. The victim was identified as 24-year-old Diane Fredericks. The body was discovered by 2 boys who wandered into the alley to retrieve a ball. Robbery apparently was not the motive for the slaying, since the victim's purse still contained over $50. Police have refused to disclose any further details.
American Institute of Design never heard of Melissa Thompson. The only thing she ever decorated was somebody's arm. That's at least one thing she had in common with Diane Fredericks. They both worked for Karen Chandler's escort service.
McCloud.
Oh, just a minute, Sarge. I'll be with you in a second, if you don't mind. Karen Chandler, isn't she the lady that they just released on bail?
That's no Lady McCloud, that's a hot potato. She's been indicted for paying off anybody with enough clout to keep her in business. If she ever decided to talk, a lot of itchy palms would be wrapped around bars.
Well, you know, if 2 of those girls at the party worked for Karen Chandler, then maybe the girl on the balcony did too.
Possible.
Well, I guess I'll just have to go to the horse's mouth.
I've been called a lot of things, Marshal, but never that.
Well, just a figure of speech.
Care to join me? In some champagne.
Oh, I think I'm having a tough enough time keeping a clear head as it is.
You know, I'm sure my lawyer would frown on this conversation. However attractive, you are still a cop. And according to the district attorney, I've bribed half the population of New York.
Well, I'm not interested in your legal problems, Miss Chandler. I just want to find a girl.
Mm-hmm. That's what got me into those legal problems in the first place. I'm being persecuted for just following the old adage, find a need and fill it. Now, my escort service fulfilled a very legitimate need, Marshal. My clients included doctors and engineers and executives and gentlemen who just wanted an attractive, intelligent dinner companion or a guide to the sights of an unknown city. Nothing more.
Just as innocent as a church social.
You're so understanding.
Oh, Miss Chandler, did any of those attractive, intelligent dinner companions attend the party of Arthur Ferris's 2 nights ago?
I didn't cater that affair, Marshal. I'm retired. Compliments of the DA. Would you be kind enough to hand me my robe? Now I ask you, Marshal, do I look ready for retirement?
She's about 22, 23, long chestnut hair, brown eyes.
That description could fit any one of a dozen girls who's worked with me one time or another.
Well, do you have any pictures, any records that I can look at?
Are you kidding? The DA impounded everything, including the dance card from my high school prom.
Appreciate your time and everything.
You know, Marshal, I might be tempted to come out of retirement if the right proposition came along.
Wouldn't want you to lose your pension.
hit the garage for me, Glenn?
Getting out, please.
Hands flat against the hood, feet spread apart.
Look, fellas.
Lean! You can do better than that.
Look, fellas, I don't know.
Answer direct questions. Anything else, and I'll leave you all over this car.
What do you do with this? Hunt buffalo?
Identification's in the inside coat pocket.
Sam McLeod. When you know Roy, he's one of us.
You better be carrying something besides your driver's license, or we're gonna start this dance again, and this time I'll lead.
Lieutenant Roy Mackey, DA Squad. My partner, Sergeant Reese. You don't have to memorize it.
I just don't want to forget it.
Look, McLeod, we're sorry for the misunderstanding, but we're assigned to keep an eye on Karen Chandler in case she decides to jump bail.
You wouldn't be one of the boys she was paying off, would you?
I'm working on a murder case. Thought maybe she might be able to identify the victim.
Did she?
No,
Then you won't have to see her again.
that depends.
On what?
Whether I have any more questions to ask her.
This homicide you're working on, it better be legit. Or we'll think maybe you're on her pad. My partner and I take a violent dislike to cops on the pad.
I'll keep that in mind. Melissa? I don't know what riles me more, being lied to or somebody thinking they can get away with it.
What on earth are you talking about?
This interior decorating career of yours. I didn't know they taught that at Karen Chandler's escort service.
Now, Marshal, unless you have a warrant or whatever it is you need to burst into someone's apartment, I suggest you get out.
Nobody's going anyplace until I get the truth.
All right. All right, my name is not Melissa Thompson. It's Margaret Harker. And I was born in Philadelphia, not London.
Well, that's all very interesting, but I'd rather hear about Karen Chandler's escort service.
Well, I met Karen at a party one night. She just asked me if I'd like to work for her. I was bored with interior decorating, so I said yes. It sounded intriguing. I did it as a lark. It was a giggle. Well, I'm sure some of the other girls did more than just go to dinner or the theater with a client. But I didn't. Not that I wasn't asked. Hello? Yes? Who?
Jerry Davis. You know, Doug King's friend. We met a couple of months ago, you remember?
No, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Look, I'm rather busy right now. Perhaps some other time, all right?
Client?
Friend of a friend. Sam, I'm sorry I lied to you, but I was desperate.
Who was the girl on the balcony?
I never saw any girl on the balcony.
This is where I came in.
Wait. Please, Sam, please, wait. Wait. I have to protect my family. Look, if I get my picture plastered all over the newspapers, I have to save them that embarrassment. Now, look, doesn't it stand to reason that if I knew anything, I'd tell you?
Unless you had something to do with her death.
Oh, Sam. Oh, how can I make you believe me?
Joyce Janesco?
That's right.
This is Jerry Davis. I'm in town for just a few days, and Doug King suggested I give you a buzz, maybe get together for a drink, a few laughs, maybe get a little party going. You tied up?
Doug gave you my number?
Uh-huh. And great recommendation, I must say. He sure thinks a lot of you.
Hold on a sec. Tied up till about 4:30.
Oh, that's perfect. I've got some business I gotta take care of until then anyway. Why don't we meet at my hotel, huh, the Ambassador? You can have a drink at the lounge and go on from there.
Okay,
Jerry.
Jerry. Put your party hat on, Jerry. I'll be there at 4:30.
Fine, I'll be waiting.
All aboard on track number 9.
Clifford. Yes, Commissioner. No, Commissioner. No, he hasn't arrived. Yes, sir, I will. Come in. I believe you know Lieutenant Mackey of the DA's squad.
We bumped into each other.
The lieutenant spoke to the district attorney. The district attorney spoke to the commissioner. The commissioner spoke to... guess who? I understand you met with Karen Chandler.
That's right.
About a homicide that never took place.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Well, this is fact, McLeod. Karen Chandler comes to trial in 2 weeks.
I might be as thick as a buffalo hide, but I don't know what that has to do with me.
The DA doesn't want some smart lawyer getting the case thrown out. Because the police were harassing and intimidating the defendant.
I didn't do any of those things. Ask her.
I'm telling you to stay away from the Chandler broad.
Lieutenant, I'll do the telling.
You're kind of touchy where she's concerned.
McLeod!
I spent 6 months building this case, and I'm not going to let it go down the tube because some jackass is chasing his tail.
You sure that's the only reason?
All right, knock it off, both of you. Now listen to this, McLeod. You are forbidden, repeat, forbidden, to see anyone remotely connected with the Karen Chandler case, or even to think about him. Is that clear? And don't give me any of your barnyard bromides. A straight yes or no will do.
It's clear.
Good. Lieutenant?
You have my sympathies, Chief.
Why aren't you at that school crossing, McLeod?
Saturday.
Oh. Stand fast, McLeod. I'm not through with you. Clifford! I'll be right there.
Now listen, Chief, about the Karen Chandler
You'll have to wait,
case.
McLeod. That nut just strangled another girl.
That's her.
Who?
The girl I saw on Arthur Ferris's balcony. I told you she was dead.
Did she look anything like that?
Well, she wasn't wearing that scarf or that lipstick, but that's her.
Name's Christina Edwards. They pulled her out of the lake. No telling how long she's been dead.
I want an autopsy yesterday, if not sooner. Now, why would someone kill a girl halfway across town, wait 2 days, and drop her in Central Park like this?
To throw us off? Make it appear whoever killed Diane Fredericks killed her too?
No, all we told the press was that Diane Fredericks was strangled with a scarf. We didn't say how the scarf was tied or anything about the lipstick on the forehead.
Well, then the same fella killed both women.
That's not for publication, McLeod. Let's try to find out who we're dealing with before we start a mass panic. And I don't want you hanging around here.
What about my case?
Case? You don't have a case. Homicides are handled by the homicide squad. But since you did such an excellent job on traffic control, we'll try and find something for you in a similar vein.
Well, don't press.
Oh, no problem. Sergeant. See if you can find a potential riot situation to assign the marshal to.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure we both want your last few days in New York to be meaningful.
potential riot situation. Joe, I just don't understand the chief. The girl that I said was dead turns up to be dead, and he acts like a bobcat with his tail caught in a wringer.
McLeod, she turned up 2 days late and halfway across town.
Well, you can find fault with anything if you try hard enough. Any clues?
Well, they found the cab Diane Fredericks took. It was stolen.
Well, the driver of the cab must be the killer.
Looks that way, except that we don't know how he set it up. Except that she was on her way to meet a guy named Jerry.
Jerry. You know, Joe, you're probably way ahead of me on this, but since both girls were killed at the same fella, and since Christina Edwards was killed at the party...
Maybe this Jerry was there, too.
Right. Maybe Joyce Janesco could tell us. I know this isn't my case, Joe, but you mind if I tag along?
I don't think that's what the chief had in mind.
Just want to see a lieutenant in the making.
Sweet, I have to walk down 12 flights.
Oh, no. Get in, I'll take you down, eh?
Relax, McLeod. This isn't your case, remember? Here it comes.
Get some help, Joe. You might still be in the building.
Police officer! Halt!
Chasing someone through rush hour traffic's like trying to shoe a runaway cayuse.
You got any kind of look at him?
Not as close as I'd like, but I would say that he's medium build, 165, 175 pounds, black hair. Oh, found this packet on the seat of the truck that he was driving. There might be enough left there to get a reading out of it.
Yeah, I'll give it to the lab boys.
Anything here?
No, the truck was stolen about an hour ago. And we found this in Joyce Janesco's purse.
Yeah? Oh, here. Well, you're sure enough on the right track with this Jerry fella, Chief. Congratulations. See you around.
Just where do you think you're going?
Well, it seems like they've come up with a potential riot situation for me. This group of housewives, they got together to protest the high price of meat.
Got the cornpone, McLeod. We both know you're the only one that got to look at the killer. Now, since I have no other choice, and against everything I've learned in 22 years of police work, I am officially assigning you to this case. But bring your usual quota of embarrassment, confusion, and ridicule down on this department, and I will personally...
Appreciate your confidence, Chief. Appreciate it.
I've never done anything like this before.
All you've done is accept a drink. Cheers. Let's just see how the evening progresses.
Were you expecting somebody else?
No. Sit down. Sam?
Ah, hello, honey. I hope that I'm not barging in.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you are.
Sam McLeod's name, partner.
Harvey Smith.
Harvey Smith. Nice to know you. Nice name. Nice name. It's popular. How long you known my sister?
Your sister?
Sam.
Now, wait a minute, sis. Let the man answer for himself. She never would let you get a word in edgewise, even at home. I guess maybe that's because she is a baby of the family. She had 6 big brothers to look after her, take care of her. You know what I mean?
Sam, we appreciate the visit, but Harvey and
No, that's all right. I was just on my way home anyway.
No, please, Harvey.
No.
Don't let me run you off, Harv.
I'm gonna miss my train. Connecticut, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, Long Island.
All right, just what do you think you're doing?
Miss Margaret Harker from Philadelphia.
Charging
isn't it?
in here. Damn it, I had a
Melissa
visitor.
Thompson from London.
Very clever.
You know, I can't get that straight. You travel so fast I get winded just listening to you.
Okay. Haul it, cowboy.
Be careful, Miss Harker Thompson. Your accent's slipping.
All right. I'm Charlotte Ackerman from the Bronx. Are you satisfied? I'm fighting for survival the only way I know how. How dare you put me down? Did you ever wake up screaming in the middle of the night because rats were running across your face? Did you ever see your old man fall down 3 flights of stairs and come up grinning because the bottle wasn't broken? Just don't lay any righteous indignation on me till you've hit some of the cellars I've been in. Oh, you've ripped away every shred of self-respect I ever had.
Oh, Melissa, Charlotte, you know, I just can't figure you out. Every time you turn around, you're spinning another story.
What did you expect me to say before? That I was exactly what you thought I was? Okay. What do you want from me this time?
What I've always wanted, just the truth.
Yeah, well, you just got it.
Well, there's one point that we haven't covered, and that's Christina Edwards.
Who?
She's dead. She was strangled the same way that Diane Fredericks was strangled, the same way that Joyce Janesco was strangled.
Oh.
Now, they found her in the park, but I found her first. on Arthur Ferris's balcony, and that's where she was killed.
I don't know. There were so many people. She might have been at that party. I mean, there were at least 50 people running in and out.
Was there anybody there by the name of Jerry?
I try to forget names.
Well, you better not forget this one. It belongs to the killer.
Oh, Sam, I'm introduced to at least... Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry, yes. That's the name of the man who called me the last time you were here. He said that Doug King gave him my name. Oh, my God, Sam, was he after me?
He might still be.
We'll always double up just like a couple of pals. Skies may be cloudy, but I'll tell you howdy, 'cause pals are there when you need 'em. So please, if ever you see that you're in a terrible spot, hey, remember the very best pal you've got.
Wah. That'll end something like that, Bobby. I thought this was a closed rehearsal.
Don't blame him, Mr. King. Excuse me. I just kind of elbowed my way in here.
Yeah, so I see. Lose any more bodies, Marshal?
No, I've got all the bodies that I need or want, including the one that I found on Senator Ferris's balcony. Senator, why don't you come over and join us? Must be kind of lonely back there in the dark. Besides, you can't hear very well over there. You two gentlemen planning another party?
The senator is a guest on my show.
Oh.
You don't have to explain to him, Doug. I hope your bags are packed.
Well, there's been a change of plans. You see, the chief thinks that I should stick around till after the killer's been corralled. You might be able to help us there, Mr. King.
I'm inclined to doubt it, Marshal. I'm not too much good on a horse.
I see what they mean, Mr. King, when they talk about your natural wit.
Thank
you. You could be a great help to us if you'd just tell me why the killer used your name to set up dates with those young ladies.
My name?
Yeah, he said his name was Jerry. Do you know anybody by the name of Jerry?
Oh, absolutely. I figure I know maybe, at least 10,000 people. There's got to be 40 or 50 Jerrys stuck in there somewhere.
Could you narrow that down just a mite?
No. I'll see.
Excuse me, Mr. King. I'm not finished yet.
Hey, I told you I don't know anybody named Jerry.
But you do know a Karen Chandler's escort service.
What are you implying?
I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying you had more than a passing acquaintance with Karen Chandler's escorts. That's why the killer used your name.
Who told you that?
Just horse sense.
Is Mr. King under suspicion in this case?
Well, you know, the more that I throw questions to him and the more he ducks them, I do get a little bit suspicious, you bet.
I told you we couldn't trust her.
Doug!
No, never mind. I'm sick of this. A man makes a few mistakes along the way. He pays okay, he expects to. But there is a limit.
How did you pay, Mr. King?
Look, Marshal, I had nothing whatever to do with those killings. And as for that Karen Chandler lady, you go back and you tell her I've reached my limit.
You bet. I'll give her that message.
Yeah, you do that.
That kind of sum up your feelings, Senator?
We'll miss you, McLeod.
There you go.
Oh, no, you don't, McLeod.
Excuse me, Sarge. I'm in kind of a hurry.
McLeod, we just received a bill for the door.
What door?
The one you smashed to smithereens at Senator Ferris's apartment.
$325 for a door?
Most of it's labor. I've already made out a 1257J.
I thought that was a 640B.
640B is for destruction of property. 1257J is for restoration of said property. McLeod, I want this on my desk by noon.
Just as good as done, Sarge.
At 12:01, I put out a warrant for you.
That's an 8325P, isn't it?
Right.
Men! Chief, here's a lab report on that packet I found. Morphine base. Yeah, with the kick of a mule full of white lightning. Oh, junkie, too, huh? Well, according to the lab boys, he's about as hooked as you can get without knowing it. They figure he has some severe pain, headache, stomachache, something like that.
Well, what about the packet itself?
Well, it was made in Chinatown. We're checking out the distributor now. Oh, Marshal, one good report deserves another. The autopsy on Christina Edwards. The victim had been dead 3 hours? So she couldn't have been killed 3 days earlier, where you said. Well, Chief, you're probably as tired of hearing of this as I am of saying
I know,
it,
McLeod. You saw her body, she was dead. But that piece of paper in your hand says that that is a medical impossibility.
Okay, all right, but she is dead now, and that's a fact. And I'm juggling a few theories in my head as to why she and the other girls were killed.
I'd tell you why they were killed. Because we're dealing with a psycho. The killer's 5 feet 10 or 11. Weighs about 165 pounds, has wavy dark hair. Sloppy letting that cowboy see you.
Come on. Could you pick me out of a crowd from that description?
Probably not, but I'll bet McLeod could.
I'll never get the chance.
You know, Charlie, I'm worried about you. You were recommended as a first-class hitman, but I'm beginning to wonder.
They're dead, aren't they?
Yeah, like that job 3 months ago. All you had to do is walk up to this guy, put a couple of slugs where they do the most good, and make it look like robbery. So what happens? He hangs on for 6 hours. 6 hours, Charlie.
I didn't come here to listen to a medley of my mistakes. It came to me, not the other way around, remember? Pay the money, I'll do the job. End of sales pitch. You got your dollar's worth.
So have you. Nice house on the island. Family away from all that smog, crime, drugs. I tell you, it's a cesspool here.
Yeah, well, it takes money to keep them away.
Aren't you going to count it?
What for? Probably the last person in the world anyone would ever think of shortchanging.
There's 5,000 there. Final installment on Joyce Janesco. Already got the 5,000 advance from Melissa Thompson. And you'll get another 5 when the job's completed.
Yeah.
Make it clean, Charlie. For top dollar, my client deserves top work.
What about McLeod? He keeps popping in all the time.
You're a professional killer, Charlie. If he gets in the way, kill him.
You certainly know how to make an impression on a girl. Your contribution was 100,000. There's only 50 here.
I had to scuffle to raise that much.
Well, put on your dancing shoes, Murphy, and come up with the rest. By tomorrow.
Karen, I'm already up to my shoulder pads in hock.
You've been living too high off the hog, Murph. You better reacquire a taste for fatback and collard greens. Ooh, careful of that Achilles tendon, Murph. You wouldn't want to spend this season on the bench the way you did last year.
Down home, we got leeches big as footballs. They latch on to anything that moves and suck till there's nothing left. You'd be right at home with them, Karen.
We've been through all this before, Murphy. Because you and I have been dear close friends who have kindly offered to help me defray my legal costs with a generous contribution of $100,000. Not 50!
Maybe, just maybe, you won't be around to spend the 50. Your gals are turning up all over town, tied in a neat little bow. If If you don't settle for what I give you, you could be next.
I liked your leech story better, Murph.
Tyler! Hold it right there.
I'm sure you recognize Murphy Michaels. Oh, pro something or other.
Running back. Well, getting in shape for the new season, Mr. Michaels?
Murph was just showing what new play he's gonna use. What's it called, Murph? The 50,000-yard scuffle?
It's a bush play. Don't know if we'll ever use it.
Oh, I'm sure you will. And if I'm not on the witness stand, I'll be out there on the 50-yard line just cheering my heart out.
You want to prefer charges against this man?
Pass.
Oh, what was that all about?
Occupational hazard.
You're gonna have a nice shiner there in the morning, Miss Chandler.
Oh, it won't be the first time. Will it, Peter?
Karen? How are you?
Well, I was going to introduce you two, but looks like somebody beat me to it.
Oh, we go back a long way. When I first met Peter, he was the roughest, straightest, handsomest flatfoot on 45th Street.
And you were the prettiest pedestrian around.
You got kind of a nasty scrape there on your back, Miss Chandler. You got a bandage someplace?
Oh, don't worry about me, Marshal. I'll be fine. Come from very hearty Swedish stock. Well, look, I'd be flattered to think you broke down my door to renew old times, Peter, but those kinds of illusions are the first to go.
Someone has been thinning the ranks of your former employees.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible. You know, it's gotten so I'm afraid to open the newspaper or turn on the radio. Hope you catch him before he does it again.
Marshal McLeod here has a theory. Now, the Marshal has several theories.
Somehow you're involved in all of these killings, Miss Chandler.
I am.
Every one of those girls was going to testify at your trial.
Oh, and you think that my alleged associates are behind it, huh? Afraid I might spill the beans about whose palms I crossed with silver? Well, I hate to disappoint you, Marshal. But I intend to plead guilty. I'm going to wear a short but demure skirt, some $50 an ounce perfume, and throw myself on the mercy of the court. What can I get, 3 to 5? With good behavior in 2 years, maybe less, I could be back on the street. That's just a figure of speech, Marshal. But my point is, why would anyone kill the witnesses if there isn't going to be a trial?
Well, how about blackmail? Could that be a reason?
You got anybody particular in mind?
Yeah, Doug King. Said to give you a message. He said that he'd paid for his mistakes, that he'd reached his limit.
Peter, have you ever known me to be anything less than straight with my clients?
Let's go, McLeod.
Peter, you're still the handsomest flatfoot in New York. What's the matter, Marshal? Didn't my answer satisfy